Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Performapal Yugioh deck profile for post-Cybernetic Horizon. Wanted to bring you guys an update to this deck. A lot of you actually requested this deck after we were found out that we were going to be receiving Performapal support as the OCG imports for Cybernetic Horizon. Now, it's actually not changed too much, but I did want to give you guys not only just what I would add in from the new set of the new cards we received, but just like what I've changed with the deck overall, with just the ratio of monsters and spell and trap card usage with the deck and the whole general basis of the deck as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, as one of your main monsters in the deck, I still run Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and the biggest thing I've always told you guys is my number ratios for Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This card just helps with so many of your, whether it be your extra deck plays or just powerful plays that you can do. But I dropped it down to 2. I did have 3 in the last deck profile. I just find 2 to be good because I'm also running 2 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. After playtesting with the deck, I found that my biggest weakness was just the number of high scales I have to low scales, and since I'm running Odd Eyes and also Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon now, I have plenty of big monsters that I can pendulum summon out just to assist with the Performapal plays, and having Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum be a scale 8 and be searchable definitely does help just for backup to Unicorn, which is another scale 8 I run in the deck. And you just want to have the low and high scales as best as you can with this deck being 1 and 8, so you can get out any level of Performapal or Odd Eyes monster for your plays. So being able to search with this definitely does help, and then just having another search with Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon definitely does come in handy. And then for the Performapal cards, I run 2 Performapal Second Donkey. I dropped the number of Second Donkeys down to 2 in the deck just because I am also running Performapal Hand Samurai. This is the new card we received in the latest booster pack, Cybernetic Horizon. I just thought, what are the best ratios to add the new cards to the deck? For those of you that don't know, Second Donkey, when it's normal or special summon, you can send 1 Performapal monster from your deck to your graveyard, except for Second Donkey. If you have 2 cards in your pendulum zones, you can add this card to your hand instead. Good search, easy use of the Second Donkey, that's for sure. Hand Samurai's effect is when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 5 or higher pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Hand Samurai once per turn. It's an 1800 attack point monster, so if you're going to attack with it, you're guaranteed to at least swing into something and get the search. I basically adjusted my numbers of Second Donkey with this card in the deck of what I wanted to run. So if you wanted to run Hand Samurai, I would just adjust the number of Second Donkeys you go for with this card. Both have searches. Second Donkey, you rely more on, obviously the pendulum scales. This is more of your attack confidence and what you want for your cards. But that's the numbers I adjusted for that. And I also run still 3 Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. This card, his numbers haven't changed at all with the deck, just because Skullcrabat Joker, is still banned. So that would have been a great help for the deck for sure. But Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer definitely does come in a close second for assistance. If it's special summon, you can target up to 2 cards you control, destroy them. If you do add Performapal monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, except for Pendulum Sorcerer, equal to the number of monsters, cards destroyed, basically, with this card. So you have plenty of search to go off of with this card, depending on what you want to grab. He's also a level 4, so he helps with your exceed plays if you will gotta go for the rank up plays, and he also gives a boost to your Performapal monsters in the scale. When he is in the scale and you pendulum summon Performapal monsters you currently control, gain 1000 attack to the end of this turn. So it's a big boost, even with cards like Hand Samurai with that boost to 28. You can even get over bigger cards and then just guarantee that search for what you want to go for. Definite 3 of it helps with the low scale and with the search and special summon. And I also run 2 Performapal Yugioh Golem. A big part of the deck is your use of the extra deck, and fusion summoning is definite with it. Its scale is once per turn. If a monster is fusion summoned to your field except during the damage step, you can add 1 Performapal, Odd Eyes, or Magician monster from your graveyard or face up from your extra deck to your hand. And the monster effect is once per turn during your main phase. If this card was pendulum summoned this turn, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using this card you control, and 1 dragon type monster you control as fusion material. materials. Now you have options for the fusion, but I also like Yugioh Go with the pendulum scale recycle effect, just because with link format we're kind of limited to how much we can get out from the extra deck. So adding back to your hand, or whether it be from the graveyard, definitely does help with either your next turn pendulum summon or just, you know, recycle for other cards you may need. And I also run 2 Performapal Odd Eyes Minotaurus. This card is a dark type Odd Eyes monster, so it's searchable with Sky Iris, and it also has the power boost during damage calc for the monster effect, and the scale is if your Performapal Odd Eyes monster attacks defense, you inflict piercing to your opponent. Its attack stats and defense are kind of lackluster. I still like to run it though, because it's an Odd Eyes search that you can go for a level 4, meaning you have just options for depending on what level kind of monster you want to go for. I did drop it down though for another new Performapal monster we received in Cybernetic Horizon, which we'll get to in a little bit. As for the other 2 ofs, I run 2 Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron. This is your tuner in the deck. It definitely does help for synchro summons of level 7s. If this card is special summon from the extra deck, is used as a synchro material, banish it, and when this card is normal summon, you can target 1 level 3 lower Performapal or Odd Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it has its effects negated. And once per turn, you can target 1 card in your pendulum zone, special summon it, but it has its effects negated. And if you do immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 synchro monster using only this monster and that card. Now my biggest play I like to do is go for the level 7 synchro plays, whether it be for Meteor Burst or Black Rose. You definitely have options with this, being able to grab from your pendulum scale, and also it has the face-up treated tuner effect in the pendulum scale that you can go for. And it's also an Odd Eyes card, so searchable off of Sky Iris, which is good for a lot of these cards since we are running Sky Iris. And as I said before with Minotaurus, I replaced my 3rd Minotaurus and dropped it down to run Goldfang, which is what I've done with most of these. Like I said, it's just an adjustment on which ones you want to run to add the new support. If this card is normal or special summon, all Performapal monsters you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of this turn. And the scale effect is once per turn, if your Performapal monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. So it's a boost on the field, and then the scale, it's just an additional damage. Works very well. The monster effect when you even combo it with the scale pendulum sorcerer. Another thing I like about this is that you can basically go for Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon, since you need a Dark Dragon type monster and a Beast type. So Goldfang, that I would say is the biggest benefit to running this and the deck, just so you can go for that fusion summon if need be. And I also run 1 Performapal Labellman. Now this is just another of the new cards I'm testing out in the deck just to see how it runs. It's a scale 1, and you can increase the level of all pendulum summon monsters you currently control by 1, even if this card leaves the field. It's good because it can help you adjust for other cards if you need to get off some better extra deck summons, like let's say with Odd Eyes Synchron, obviously, if you have that out on the field, and let's say another low level. And then its monster effect is you can declare 1 level 1 to 5, then target 1 other Performapal you control until the end of this turn. Reduce this card's level by the declared level, and if you do, increase the level of the other monster by the same amount. So it's just an adjustment, which definitely does come in handy depending on what you want to make for this. Plus the 2600 defense just helps for a more defensive kind of play if you want. And I also run 1 Odd Eyes Dissolver. Good just because it helps with the basically the fusion summon from the pendulum scales, just like Odd Eyes Synchron. Depending on what you want to do in the situation, it can come in handy for sure. And for more Odd Eyes searches with the Sky Iris, Odd Eyes Unicorn, the life point gain, and the fact that it is searchable off of Sky Iris just gives you adjustable scales. Same with Light Phoenix. And to finish off the monsters, I run 1 Daggerman. I run this card just so you have level 5 option, just like Light Phoenix, to use with Odd Eyes Synchron to go for Black Rose or Meteor Burst. And also with this card, you can go for Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon, since it is a warrior type monster that you need to make this dragon. And that is it for the monsters for the main deck. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Performance Hurricane. I've always loved this card in the deck. It takes care of so many problems. You target cards your opponent controls up to the number of Performapal monsters you control, return them to the hand. You can only activate 1 Performance Hurricane per turn. Just, you know, get rid of link monsters, pesky extra deck monsters, you name it. Things that are just being a hindrance on the field. Easy to take care of. Even if you just have 1 Performapal and normal summon it, activate this, and then there goes the big problem. And also 2 Bubble Barrier, just because I like to be in control of when I use my own cards. So with Bubble Barrier, you know, I can just play defensively with my opponent, with my smaller Performapals, then come my turn, if I draw a card that works better with them, I can use them when I want to. And I also run 2 Duelist Alliance, just search out Pendulum cards, whether it be Pendulum Sorcerer or any of the Odd Eyes cards that you need. Just good search there. And then the card I talked about the whole video, Sky Iris, running 3 of these as well. I tried a 2 in one of, but you know, just this, I'm able to reach my Sky Iris numbers much faster if I need them. And I always definitely do. It protects my pendulum scales. It searches for what I need just by, you know, getting rid of other cards and destroying it. So you have so many plays that this field spell just helps to make up for. And also 3 Wavering Eyes, just with adjustable scales in this game. You really want the proper Performapal that you need depending on the situation. If we had Skullcrabat this deck, this card would be so much better, but being able to search what you want and then still keeping that scale open means you have options for your plays for sure. And then going up against the Pendulum deck, it's just all the sweeter. And I also run 2 Fusion Substitutes. Now, if you want to run Polymerization instead of this, you can obviously do that. Just that they're on the field most of the time, and they're reshuffle back for Fusion Substitute, and the draw definitely does come in handy. And also 1 Odd Eyes Fusion. This is just so you can, you know, use to search off of Sky Iris if need be. Plus the Dragon Fusions are what you can go for most of the time with this card. And lastly, for the spells, 1 Monster Reborn, staple, especially with a lot of the Feck Monster, non-pendulum. So we run Second Donkey, Samuraiger, any of your extra deck ones you make. It definitely does help. And then for the only trap, still the Pinch Helper, good special summon, especially for some of my bigger ones I might not be able to get off with the Pendulum Summon. This special summon and damage reduction definitely does help. And that is it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. 2 Gatling Ghouls. Now, for the fusions, this is definitely probably one of the easiest ones I can make. You just need a Performapal monster and then 1 level 5 or higher Dark Monster. And with its burn power and high attack stats, you really can't go wrong with this card in the deck. And I already spoke of the Beast Eyes, Pendulum Dragon. You don't even need Polymerization to make this, but with the new Gold Fang that we're running. And you just need a Dark Dragon as well. Another easy fusion to make with Odd Eyes or Arc Pendulum. And spoke of Brave Eyes already in the deck with the Dagger Man and your Pendulum Dragon. All of them, like I said, revolve around Odd Eyes, which is why we ran it in the deck for sure. And I also run Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon. This is just so you can 2 Dark Monsters on the field except tokens. They have to be on the field, so with Fusion Substitute, it's kind of the requirements met already, but a very powerful fusion for sure. And same goes for Odd Eyes Venom. If you can get this card out, I've done it before. It's a lot of fun to do when you have your Odd Eyes and your Starving Venom, and a very powerful Fusion Pendulum as well. And then for the Synchros, I run the Clear Wing, the Odd Eyes Meteor Burst for the scale plays, and the Black Rose Dragon. If you want to run some different varying, you can try Metaphys Horus. That can definitely come in handy. It all depends on what you want to run. And then for the Exceeds, I run 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, and 1 Dark Rebellion. The Dark Rebellion with the Clear Wing, obviously, and the Starving Venom, so you can run all 4 of the Dimension Dragons, which I love when you used to be able to get them all out in one game with this deck. Much harder to do, though, now with Link format, but still fun to have those options available to you. And then for the Link monsters, just 1 Decode Talker and 1 Underclock Taker, just so you have some small Link options. Just if you have like different level monsters or things you just can't synchro or fusion with, these do come in handy just to get out some Link options with better plays. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Twig out.